A Course in Miracles Workbook, Lesson 14. God did not create a meaningless world.
This lesson teaches that God created everything with love and purpose. Nothing real is empty or without meaning. When the world feels confusing or scary, it is because we are seeing it through fear, not through love. God did not create a meaningless world, and when we look with trust, kindness, and peace, we start to see the good meaning that has always been there.
Today's idea explains why a meaningless world cannot be real. Anything God did not create does not truly exist. Everything that does exist was created by God exactly as He made it. The world we think we see is not the real world. It comes from our own thoughts, and it is not truly there.
This paragraph teaches that God creates only what is real, loving, and meaningful, so a world without meaning cannot exist. Anything not created by God is not truly real. God gives everything purpose, and that purpose cannot be lost. When the world feels confusing or scary, it is because of our own fearful thoughts, not God's creation. The Course reminds you that the real world is safe and loving, and when you choose loving thoughts, you begin to see what God truly created.
Today's exercises should be done with your eyes closed the whole time. The time you spend looking at your thoughts should be short, no more than 1 minute. Do not practice more than 3 times unless it feels easy and comfortable. If it does feel comfortable, it is because you truly understand what the practice is meant to help you learn.
This paragraph teaches that today's practice should be gentle and calm. With your eyes closed, your mind can rest and look quietly at its own thoughts. The practice is short, so you do not feel tired or pressured, because you learn best when relaxed. You do not need many sessions, and you should only do more if it feels peaceful. When the practice feels easy, it means your mind is beginning to understand naturally, in a gentle, loving way.
Today's idea is another step in learning to let go of the thoughts you have put on the world and to see God's truth instead. At first, giving up these old thoughts can feel hard and sometimes even scary. Some of these early steps may bring up fear, but you will not be left feeling that way. You are being guided past the fear towards a place of perfect safety and perfect peace.
This paragraph teaches that today's lesson helps you let go of the fearful ideas you put on the world and begin to see God's loving truth instead. Letting go of old thoughts can feel uncomfortable at first, and these early steps may bring up fear, but nothing is wrong. The Course reminds you that you are not alone and will not be left in fear. You are being gently guided toward the deep peace and safety that has always been within you.
With your eyes closed, think about the scary or upsetting things in the world that come into your mind. As each one comes to you, quietly name it and then remind yourself that it is not real. God did not create it, and anything God did not create is not real. For example, you can say, God did not create the war in blank, and so it is not real. God did not create that plane crash in blank, so it is not real. God did not create that disaster, specify in blank, and so it is not real. God did not create that illness, specify in name of a person, and so it is not real.
This paragraph teaches you to look at scary thoughts gently without letting them upset you. You close your eyes, notice the upsetting thoughts, and calmly name them instead of pushing them away. Then you remember that God did not create anything scary or harmful, so those thoughts are not truly real. They come from fear, not from God's love. This helps your mind learn that fear is not the truth. The practice does not ignore your feelings. It helps you remember that God's world is safe and loving. As you do this, you start to feel calmer and more protected because you are choosing God's truth instead of fear.
You can also use today's idea for things you are afraid might happen to you or to someone you care about. Each time, name the scary thing in a clear and specific way. Do not use vague words. For example, do not say, God did not create illness, but say, God did not create cancer, or heart problems, or anything else that makes you feel afraid.
This paragraph teaches that you can use today's lesson for fears about yourself and for worries about people you love. Instead of hiding these fears, the Course asks you to name them clearly and honestly so they feel smaller and less frightening. Then you remember that God did not create anything fearful, so these worries do not come from Him. This practice helps you see that fear loses its power when you face it with truth and love, and it gently brings your mind back to peace and trust in God's care.
These are the scary things you have been looking at in your own mind. They are part of the world you think you see. Some of them are fears that many people share, and others feel very personal to you. This does not matter. Anything God did not create can only come from thoughts that are separate from Him. Because of this, those thoughts have no real meaning. Knowing this, end the practice by saying today's idea: God did not create a meaningless world.
This paragraph explains that the scary ideas you think about come from your own mind, not from the loving world God created. Some fears are common, and some feel very personal, but none of them come from God. Anything not created by Him is a mistaken thought with no real meaning or power. When you understand this, you can begin to let those fears go. Ending the practice by remembering that God did not create a meaningless world helps you see that His world is filled with love and purpose, and fear is not part of God's truth.
You can use today's idea anytime something upsets you during the day, not only during the practice times. Be very clear and specific when you use it. Say, God did not create a meaningless world. He did not create. Name the situation that is upsetting you, so it is not real.
This paragraph teaches that today's lesson can be used anytime you feel upset, not just during quiet practice. When you feel worried or scared, you pause, name what is bothering you, and face it honestly. Then you remember that God did not create that problem, which shows you that fear does not come from Him. This helps you let go of fear and remember that God's world is loving, meaningful, and safe.
God did not create a meaningless world. God did not create a meaningless world. God did not create a meaningless world.